And now welcome inside the Collins Arena as we get set for Jersey Blues basketball here on Brookdale TV. Brian Goudsworth, Tim Catalfamo here with you as the Jersey Blues take on Rowan, Glouster. Brookdale off to a terrific start. They've won their first 7 games, 6 of which had been on the road. And Tim, there's a lot of areas where this team is excelling to start the year, but I think you have to start with the fact they have 5 players averaging double-figure scoring.
Yeah, they certainly have done a very good job scoring, and they really haven't had much challenge this year. I mean, they've really been able to take teams to the house. They've just blown every single opponent that they've had out of the water. They really haven't had too much difficulty, and they have so many talented players, as you mentioned, Brian, on so many different aspects. They can shoot the ball, they can play defense, they can rebound the basketball. So all those things make for a really overall good group that Coach Brunson has under his tenure this year as head coach.
And the opponent, Rowan, Glouster, this is a team that Brookdale's very familiar with. They met them 3 times a season ago, including in the region championship where Brookdale fell to the visiting Roadrunners. And speaking of Rowan, we'll take a look at their starting lineup right now. It'll be Tiara Bush, Kyler Coughlin, Nayana Saab, Isabella Villari, and Danielle Shaw rounded out for head coach Richard Cooper. And there you see the Roadrunners in the yellow jerseys as they get set for their 3rd road contest of the season. And Brookdale, the starting lineup being introduced as we speak, and there they are as Rich Brunson goes with a lineup tonight of Rachel Rouse, Veronica Njai, Haley Delonzo, Camry Brown, and Jessica Poplowski, as he works a 4-guard set into the lineup with the 1 big player in Poplowski.
Yeah, Poplowski, we were actually talking with Coach Brunson just moments ago, and he was telling us how impressed he is, not only with her as one of the bigs, but a really good shooter and a really good rebounder as well. So she's contributed very nicely early on in this season, and she's a player along with Veronica Njai, 2 freshmen that have come in that have brought different dynamics to a team that we really haven't seen much of in the last couple of years. We saw, of course, last year with, of course, the successes with Chikasha Andrews, who was phenomenal from behind the 3-point line, but Brookdale didn't really have too much size down low that were capable of making plays, and they also didn't have someone in Veronica Njai who could drive to the hoop easily. So those players that are additions to the teams this year are really helping Brookdale out in many facades.
And all of that has taken them to a new level this season. Unbeaten, as we mentioned, through the first 7 games, and they haven't really gotten accustomed yet to playing here at the Collins Arena, so it should be a lot of home games left the rest of the way, and we'll see if Brookdale can continue this good stretch.
And we should mention, this I think is going to be a very tough challenge for Brookdale tonight. Rowan Glouster County is a very good team. We've talked about their men's team as being one of the best teams in the Region 19 Conference, but you don't want to forget about their women's team either. They have a very stout, very good head coach in Rich Cooper, as you mentioned a moment ago. This team will be, I think, a good challenge for the Jersey Blues tonight.
Roadrunners have it to start in the corner with Tiara Bush. And then falling down is Isabella Villari, and she was fouled. So Brookdale commits a foul on the opening possession of the game, and it'll work against Poplowski.
And Glouster County comes off of taking down Middlesex County on Tuesday, 81-28. That's a team that historically in the women's side of the ball has been really good. They're obviously having a down year, but it shows you the potential that this team has.
As that was Villari unable to get it to go on the second attempt, and then a jump ball will give Brookdale their first possession of the night. So the Jersey Blues come off a dominating performance in their own right. That was a 92-51 beatdown at Atlantic Cape. Start up the offense with Njai, a 3. It won't go. The offensive rebound, Poplowski, but a foul is called. Loose ball foul, and that'll give the ball to Rowan Glouster.
And it's going to be on Poplowski because she pushed off to get that rebound. That's why she was able to get that really uncontested. Unfortunately, she picks up her first personal foul.
And she's replaced now by Anna Catanzaro as Rich Brunson's forced to make an early change with the 2 personal fouls on Poplowski. Rowan looking for the first points of the game, but Catanzaro's got it off a steal. And now Brookdale will look to capitalize on this possession. Camry Brown nearly gave it away. Now Brown on the drive. Bank shot, no. The follow is way short. And then Njai is fouled, pushed to the ground. And that'll be team foul number 1 against the Roadrunners.
I like the aggressiveness, though, by Camry Brown, going in there, attacking the hoop. She didn't get the bucket necessarily to fall, but that drive inside led Brookdale to get an offensive rebound, and now they have another offensive set.
Now they get a steal, do the Roadrunners. This is Tiara Bush all the way. Missed it with the left hand, and then a travel is called on Brown shortly after she got the rebound. And now we get another substitution. Alexis Holloway comes in. Rachel Rouse is the substitution to the Brookdale bench. No score, just over a minute in. Kyler Coughlin sees 2 Brookdale defenders forced to give it up. Tiara Bush steps back, defended by Holloway. And nearly giving it away is Shaw, but the save by Coughlin, she's in major trouble and throws it away. Tried the shovel pass there for Shaw, and Brookdale will take over.
And talking about a shaky start for both teams, Brian. Brookdale struggling on the offensive end. They have a couple steals. They can't get good looks underneath the basket. And for Rowan, they just really can't seem to get their offense together. Both teams just not getting off to a very good start.
Njai on the hard drive, off the rim, no. Tried to get the offensive rebound, but no luck.
I think Njai probably should have gone to the line for a couple shots there. There was some contact inside. The officials so far have let these players play, so that seems to be the mindset, but probably Njai should have gone to the line for 2.
So about 2 minutes in, scoreless contest as they work it over to Coughlin. And it was last touched by the Roadrunners, so the Jersey Blues will take it off the turnover, and that has Richard Cooper a little upset on the Roadrunners sideline.
Well, he knows how good Brookdale is, so it's, I think, a major storyline for Rowan to get out to a good start, and they have not done that. Brookdale can score very quickly. We've seen that the last couple times we've seen them play, so they want to get off to a good start, and they haven't been able to.
And there's the first points, courtesy of Haley Delonzo, who missed the initial shot but gets the follow, and it's 2-0 Jersey Blues. To the corner for 3. Valari knocks it down. Long-range jumper, and Rich Brunson is going to gather his team together. So a low-scoring start. We've played 2 3/4 minutes, and the Roadrunners just put up their first points to take a 1-point lead. Well, it's probably not a surprise that this game is low scoring to start because these are 2 teams that are very much committed on the defensive end.
Yeah, Brookdale only allows an average of 43 points on defense, along with Rowan that's only allowing 47. So exactly to your point, Brian, these are 2 defensive-minded teams, so it doesn't surprise me that we have a low score. What does surprise me, though, is the sloppiness on both sides of the basketball. That's not really something that we're used to seeing out of Brookdale this season, particularly with some of the games that we have seen where they've been very good executing on offense. And for Rowan Glouster, they're a pretty good team as well on offense. They have a player in Tiara Bush, you just talked about a moment ago, who's very good. So it surprises me that they're struggling early on.
Smooth jumper from Holloway off the drive and set up from Brown, and Brookdale goes back in front by 1. And the shot attempt is no good, but a foul is called, and that'll send Nyana Saab to the free throw line for Rowan.
And just not very good transition defense off of that basket made for Brookdale coming back the other way. Nice aggressiveness by Saab to recognize that and go inside and try to draw a foul.
Saab shoots it at 60% from the line. Rowan as a team, they're not all that strong in this department. 52% from the stripe. See if Brookdale can take advantage of that today. It starts with 2 misses from Saab and coming back the other way, Delonzo, but the pass is nearly taken away. Then there's a fight for it. Ripping it away is Brown, but the jump ball is going to award possession to Rowan.
Yeah, and Coach Cooper wanted a traveling called on Camry Brown as she kind of fell down to the floor. That's usually what you get in that situation, but I think it was because both players were touching the ball. That's why the officials called a jump ball instead of giving it as a turnover, charging it to Brookdale.
4-3 Brookdale leads. Both teams have had their problems offensively to start. As on the drive was Valari, and now an open look for Saab, top of the key, drills it, a 3 for Nyana Saab. So Rowan has connected on a pair from behind the arc, And that's what's given them a 2-point lead as Njai has the shot blocked on the perimeter. Brown able to rescue it on the drive, floats it up off the glass, no good, and the rebound collected by Coughlin. Here comes Tiara Bush. Pocket picked. And then it was Brown who couldn't pick it up cleanly, and possession stays right here.
And on that last possession for Brookdale, Veronica Njai, a very talented player, but that's very early on in the shot clock to be taking a three. It didn't really set up a very good offensive set, and that led to the turnover. So Brookdale's got to settle down here a little bit early on.
It's Rowan with the 2-point lead as Saab will set up the offense. And now the back in by Yasmin Trueblood. Standing her ground was Dion Griffith, who's in the game and forcing a double dribble. So both of these teams have had trouble holding onto the basketball, which for Brookdale is somewhat uncharacteristic, as you mentioned.
Yeah, Rowan Glouster has 19 turnovers a game on average. Brookdale not really in that vicinity, just over 10, but still, I mean, a lot of turnovers early on in this first quarter.
And that's the second team foul against Rowan as Nyana Saab picks up her first. Inbounder Delonzo passes tipped and picked off. Harris Hood, who's in the game. Kadena Harris Hood all the way to the basket, off the rim, no, and it's knocked out of bounds off. It looked like Rouse, but they're going to award possession to Brookdale. And now a change for the Jersey Blues as Danielle Griffith checks in for Anna Catanzaro. So Rich Brunson looks for a unit to give him some offense. Brookdale a little out of sync to start tonight.
And we'll see what Brookdale does. You have Veronica Njai and Camarie Brown on the bench right now, so see if the Jersey Blues can get their offense going.
Griffith back for Rouse. Rouse into the lane with it. Gets it to go. +1. Rachel Rouse, the right-hand finish, and a chance to add one more at the line.
And that's why Rachel Rouse is such a good player, because she provides that spark. She gets the ball. She can take it in transition. She knows exactly where she has to go, because remember, she's played here before. She's a sophomore. She didn't play on last year's team. She was on the team the year prior to that. She's that spark that Brookdale likes to have on their offense.
Unable to convert on the three-point play, as the pass is off of Alexis Holloway, or no, they say last touch Rowan. So the Jersey Blues will get another possession. Tied up at 6, 5:13 remaining in this opening quarter. Brookdale ranks second in the region standings. Only Philadelphia is ahead of them, as Delonzo on the runner and gets the roll. Ellie Delonzo, who's been on a roll of late for the Jersey Blues, and Rowan Glouster will use a timeout.
Yeah, Coach Cooper just not very happy with that defense there. And listen, I mean, both teams have struggled early on in this first quarter to get good looks, but on that last offensive set, nobody really guarded Brookdale on the defensive side for Rowan. So that's why Coach Cooper called that timeout. They've been so close, and I think that's one of the frustrating things, really close to be able to put points on the board, but they've either had bad shots or they've had turnovers. So he, along with Coach Brunson, are both trying to settle their teams down right now. They are very explosive teams. They're very good on the defensive end for sure, but I think if you're Rowan, I think you're a little bit disturbed by the fact that you couldn't put up a better effort in these early couple moments in the first quarter to kind of set the tone against a very tough Brookdale team, which we know can put up close to 90 points if they're able to during a game.
Yeah, so far the way the game is playing out, the style favors Rowan Glouster, because they're not a team that's going to put up points in bunches like Brookdale is capable of. They want to slow the pace down, defend the shots, and really play top-notch defense, and that's what they've been able to do so far, as they're down by 2 outside the timeout with possession.
And if you're Brookdale, you want to attack that. You know that ahead of time. You want to push the issue so you can disrupt that momentum and keep the game up-tempo and not allow Rowan to hang around like they are right now.
Delonzo has it off the steal, uncontested to the rim. Layup is good. Well, Haley Delonzo, along with Rachel Rouse, the co-leading scorers for the Jersey Blues, averaging just over 19 a game. cross-court passes to Saab. Saab on the drive. Floater misses, and it's rebounded by Holloway. Outlet for Delonzo, and nobody back defensively. Easy bucket, Brookdale.
And that's how quick Brookdale can push the ball up the floor. And we were just talking about that up-tempo offense. That's it. That's what Brookdale can do. 4 points in less than 30 seconds.
Open look, Harris Hood. She's got it. Kadena Harris Hood drains the three. So all of a sudden the offense is picking up on both sides. Danielle Griffith back for Delonzo. Out to Griffith for three, just grazes the rim.
I like that shot, though. You have the open look, you have the momentum on your side. Take that shot.
Here's Saab. Will work it back to the perimeter. Fire from three, and Nyana Saab from deep. And a 6-0 run for the Roadrunners to get back even at 12. Delonzo is called on a double dribble.
And I tell you what, Saab, who made that last three for Rowan, she only averages 9 points a game, Brian. So she started out incredibly well for the Roadrunners so far in this game.
Yeah, and her best attribute is shooting the ball from long range, 41% from three. Come up on 3 minutes to go now, tied up at 12. Bush, top of the key, the three misses, and it's rebounded by Rouse. So Rowan getting some good looks from three-point range. It hasn't usually been a part of their program for the season, but they've gotten a couple to drop. As Alexis Holloway lost it, picked up by Delonzo. Delonzo shoveled to the baseline where Griffith's jumper won't go. And then it's loose at the foul line area. And that'll be a foul.
I think it's going to be an offensive foul.
On Rowan, yeah. It was Trueblood who picked it up, and then she threw an elbow. And I'm sure it wasn't intentional, but it's certainly enough to warrant a foul call.
Anytime you swing that elbow, and Coach Cooper's pleading his case, but that's dangerous. Anytime you start swinging that elbow, you can get into the territory of flagrant or intentional foul or anything like that. So you have to be extremely careful. I know you want to keep that ball away, but it's a tough call. But I think the officials did make the right call in that situation.
Delonzo looking for an option. It's Brown who comes to it. Njai open jumper. Misses. Loose ball again. Brown had it for a second. And finally, Njai comes up with it. Reset of the shot clock. Now Njai drives amongst a crowd. Shot doesn't go, but she's fouled.
Glouster's got to do a better job of boxing out. They had that possession stopped. They gave up a pretty good look to Njai, but she missed it. You got to be able to limit the opportunities that Brookdale has on offense to just one trip down the floor per possession, and they did not do that, and that's why Njai's now at the line.
And the first attempt misses. That's 3 fouls now on Yasmin Trueblood, so she heads for the bench. Back in for the Roadrunners, Isabella Villari. Njai shoots it well, 75%, and she splits a pair at the line. Brookdale back in front by 1. They show some pressure. Rowan defeats it. Diamond Dunlap in some trouble, and it's stolen. Another for Delonzo. Brown, though, couldn't handle the pass cleanly, and it goes back to Rowan. Roadrunners a 5-3 mark on the season after dropping their opening 2 games. They're winners of 5 of their last 6, so they're looking to keep that going. But a tough game here on the road against unbeaten Brookdale. And we've got about 2 minutes to go, opening quarter. Villari defended by Delonzo. Shot clock's down to 6. Ball staying on the perimeter. Bush hoists it up. Too strong for 3, and Brown will let it go out of bounds.
Yeah, and on that possession for Rowan, I'd like to see them go inside and try to drive to the basket. They're trying to work the ball around the perimeter. Brookdale's got pretty stout defense around the perimeter, but how you're going to beat them is you're going to go inside and try to get to the line, extend the game, as you see a nice play made by Bush going for that loose ball. But I'd like to see them try to drive the ball to the basket and see if they can get a couple fouls to go their way. how that's going to happen is someone's going to have to come out and set a pick for Tiara Bush, who's really good at handling the basketball, so she can go inside. Haven't seen that too much out of Glouster County so far.
Njai, rainbow delivery off the mark on a 3, and Brookdale will get another opportunity as its last touch by Rowan Glouster. Njai will inbound it. Brown gets free. Brown catching fire. Can't hit for 3. And the offensive rebound to Njai. Brown, same spot, same result, no good. And it's rebounded by McKenna Dowd. So Brookdale 2 opportunities on that possession as Kyler Coughlin from in close for 2. Here's Njai on the drive. The floater is good.
Yeah, Njai is just so good driving inside. She's a big player. She's tall. She's got a big body on her, so she has that ability to go inside and to make nice plays. That was a very nice drive.
Dowd defended by Rouse as we have 40 seconds to play in the first. Last touch Brookdale as Rowan will keep it. And they'll make one change here. As that's Kadena Harris-Hood who checks back into the game. 16 on the timer. It's Bush one-on-one with Rouse. Jumper over Rouse off the back rim, and it's rebounded by Brown. Ahead of the floor, Delonzo tracking it. And Delonzo now will back in. Find Rouse on the perimeter, 3 on the way. Side rim, no. Njai took it back for a shot in close. Njai again down near the baseline, and Brookdale can get reset. Delonzo gets it to go. Hard drive to the rim, and the basket good. 5 seconds to go now. Into the hands of Harris-Hood. 2 seconds and 1 at the horn. Bush all in one motion, no. And that's how this opening quarter comes to a close as Brookdale has a 3-point lead. It's 17-14. We'll step aside at the Collins Arena. Second quarter action coming up next on Brookdale TV.
For one purpose only, student learning.
Brian Goudsward, Tim Catalfamo back here with you on Brookdale TV. So we got a good matchup between the number 2 and number 4 teams in the Region 19. That's the Division 3 section. Brookdale taking on Rowan Glouster. Each team started slow offensively, but both teams sort of found a rhythm there in the back half of the quarter. And as we start the second, it's Brookdale by 3 as the Roadrunners open up with possession.
And I think Rowan's got to be pretty impressed that they're hanging around with Brookdale. I know that the first quarter didn't necessarily go the way that they want to, but they're in this ball game, and that I think was important to get off to a strong start.
Pass knocked out of bounds. And so good defense there. Possession stays with Rowan 16 to shoot. Shaw finds Bush inside. The fall away gets the roll. Tiara Bush, who was the only Roadrunner who averages double-figure scoring, and she starts the second quarter with a bucket.
I think Rowan's going to have to utilize her a little bit more than she has had so far. She's going to have to be a lot more in play on offense.
Njai missed the 3.
Hold possession.
And it was last touched by Bush on the fight for the rebound. So Brookdale will get a second chance. Rouse puts up a three. I don't know that she called bank. It missed anyway.
Just about.
It was halfway down after it made contact with the backboard. Shaw back out Saab, high arcing three, and it's rebounded by Danielle Griffith, and then a foul in the backcourt. That's the first infraction against Rowan Glouster of this quarter, and that'll be on Villari, her second.
Yeah, and Villari's just got to, when that shot goes up and Brookdale controls the rebound, you got to take your hands away and get back on defense. And I think that's why Coach Cooper was upset, because now not only is it another foul, but it gives a chance for Brookdale to kind of reset out of that inbounds pass.
NJ couldn't get it to go. Back the other way, Rowan Glouster. Push to the basket. Was short on the attempt, able to track it down in the corner. Puts up a three. It's good. Tiara Bush. And she's opened the second with 5 straight Roadrunner points, and they have a 2-point lead. Griffith inside. Out to the baseline where the shot just hits the top of the backboard. The try from Delonzo. And then they get a foul on Brookdale, their first of this second quarter. And it's on Rachel Rouse.
Yeah, I've been surprised that we haven't seen more fouls being called underneath the bucket as the rebound is taking place, because there's been a lot of contact on both sides. Both teams really pushing and shoving a lot underneath that basket to grab that rebound. That's, I think, the first over-the-back call that we've seen all game long.
Coughlin is open. Coughlin for three. And Rowan's got the 3-point stroke working tonight.
Yeah, Brookdale's going to have to get back out on their shooters. They're going away from that. They're playing a little bit more tighter inside. They've got to maintain and to protect that perimeter.
Griffith way short from the baseline. Here's Coughlin in transition. Bank shot, no. Fight for the rebound. It's controlled by the Roadrunners. Here's Bush on the drive. Shot misses. Rebounded by Camry Brown. Brown able to regather it. Delonzo working the sideline. Now to the basket she goes, and a blocking foul is called. As going down was Villari, and that's her third personal. So Haley Delonzo now at the free throw line. Misses on the first one. Rowan now has a pair of players with 3 personal fouls. And keep in mind, there's 7:40 to play until halftime.
Yeah, despite having a 5-point lead, they haven't necessarily helped themselves with fouls. But Brookdale really so far hasn't been able to take advantage of that because of how the fouls have been called. They haven't been shooting fouls. They've been mainly on the floor.
Delonzo missed them both at the line. Here's Saab with a head of steam. Saab to the basket, flips it up, no. And it's rebounded offensively by Danielle Shaw. Tight defense along the baseline from Catanzaro. Pass tipped, back out Saab. Saab with Rouse defending. And now Coughlin tries the other side, can't connect. Catanzaro gave the rebound to Taylor Carter, and a foul called.
I like that aggressiveness, though. First by Saab coming down the floor and getting to the hole. I know she didn't get the basket to go, but still nice aggressiveness, and then not giving up on the rebound. Lots of fighting going underneath for the Roadrunners, trying to maintain this possession to get second and third chance opportunities. They look like they've settled in now, and Brookdale is the one now that's having difficulty trying to find rhythm.
Carter connects on the first one. She shoots it well, 70% from the line. Brookdale gets Jessica Poplawski and Camry Brown back in the game.
Yeah, I'm surprised Poplawski was on the bench that long. I know she picked up that quick foul, but I'm surprised Coach Brunson didn't put her in midway through the first quarter, and now it's taken her this long to come back on the floor, because she really is very key down low for Brookdale on their offense and defense.
This is now the largest deficit for Brookdale. They're down by 7. Poplawski out for Holloway. Holloway back for Poplawski. That jumper won't go. Offensive rebound, Brown, and it's stripped away as Coughlin picks it out of the air. And the Roadrunners look to add to a 7-point lead. Here's Bush, gets right around Rouse. pass back out. Saab loose where it's picked up by Coughlin. Jumper inside the arc is an air ball, and it's back to the Jersey Blues.
If you're Brookdale, you just have to corral. You see Coach Chuzak there looking on. We'll see him at 7 o'clock. But you just got to corral that rebound. Camry Brown had the rebound, but she couldn't corral it. She couldn't put her, her full hand pressure on that to keep that ball away from the rest of the defenders, and it kind of just popped out of her hands and it got up in the air. So you've got to do a better job if you're Brookdale when you get that rebound of corralling it and keeping it low, keeping it away from the Roadrunners so you can come down the floor and set up your offense.
Holloway with a wild shot that goes off the side of the backboard, and will give possession to Rowan as Haley Delonzo set to check in next whistle, and the Brookdale offense was out of sync while she was on the bench. Bush turns it over. Brown trying to capitalize. Brown finishes with the left hand. And Brookdale needed that. They had been in a fairly long scoreless drought as they cut the deficit back to 5. Under 6 minutes to go now until the break.
That's really the first transition basket that we've seen from Brookdale in quite a while, Brian. You're right.
Here's Coughlin. Can't get it to go as it's set up there on the rim, but she will shoot free throws. And Brookdale will pick up team foul number 3. And Poplawski has her third.
I don't know if Coach Cooper heard me in the first quarter, but all of a sudden now Rowan is going much more inside. They're attacking the basket as opposed to in the first half where they were kind of shooting around the perimeter. And that's changed the dynamic of this game. They're getting to the line. As you mentioned, Poplawski now, she's got 3 personal fouls. That's big for Brookdale on the defensive end. That's going to hurt them. And for Rowan, they just keep attacking. But the problem is now they're going to have to make their foul shots. They're just struggling to capitalize from the line.
Yeah, each team has had their problems from the line. Coughlin missed the first. The freshman from down in Glouster, New Jersey. Missed them both. It's rebounded by Njai. Ahead is Delonzo. Stops and pops for 3. It's short.
Nice rebound.
And then a foul on the second chance shot. And Brown will go to the line now for Brookdale.
Fouls on Rowan, 25, Taylor Carter.
So Camry Brown shoots it at 71% from the line. The foul is called on Taylor Carter. That's her first, the team's third.
Checking in for Rowan, number 11.
As Kyler Coughlin will head for the Roadrunner bench, and back in is Kadena Harris-Hood. Brown, second attempt. Short. 24-20. Bush into the front court. Bush all the way with a wild scoop shot in the left hand. It goes down. Brown all the way back for Brookdale. Her shot goes off the glass. Delonzo back out. Njai, 3 on the way. In and out, no good. Rebound Carter. Carter nearly lost it. It's just rolling loose. Delonzo knocks it off Dunlap, and it's Brookdale ball.
For as much as Rowan is playing well on both offense and defense, they have these hiccups that allow Brookdale to have opportunities to get back in the game. The problem is Brookdale's having hiccups of their own, and they just can't seem to get things going on their offensive end. The shots are not falling. It's not so much from a shot selection standpoint, Brian. It's just the shots just aren't going down, and they're just struggling, it looks like, to find some type of consistency on offense.
I think that in large part can be attributed to the Rowan defense. They're one of the best teams defending in the region, as here's a turnover.
Ooh.
And then the ball loose in the front court, and it's picked up by Dion Griffith, but then Saab takes it back away. Saab sees some space. Brookdale able to get back defensively. Inside for Dunlap, got Njai in the air, and she finishes.
And good patience there by Dunlop. She expected someone was going to come over her. She waited, she was patient, and then she went up and put it in for 2.
Delonzo driving baseline, right hand off the glass. And when Brookdale has needed an answer offensively, in this game they've gone to Haley Delonzo. She oftentimes has had the answer. Here's Harris-Hood for Saab. The 3 rattles out. And now here comes Rouse trying to start a break, spinning. On a foul called, reach-in called, and it's on Saab. Or is that Harris Hood? Harris Hood will pick it up. And that's her first.
Rachel Rouse is actually lucky she got fouled there because she almost took her third step as she had that nice play there on the last offensive set for Haley DeLonzo. She almost took that extra step. So that foul bowed them out. That would have been another turnover.
DeLonzo, the quick inbound as she saw Njai was open. Njai draws the foul and will go to the line.
Fouls on Rowan's number 2, Tierra Bush. That is your first. Njai at the line.
Njai off to a good start this season, averaging just under 14 points a game. First one's good, and we remarked in the last game that she reminds us of a player Brookdale had as part of this program a couple of years ago in Hermione Bankel.
Yeah, very similar attributes on the basketball court. She can move the ball very well. She's good with driving. She can rebound. She's a good defender. One of the things that Coach Brunson would always tell us about Bankel was that she was such a good defender. She was one of the best defenders that her team had. And in this case, Veronica Njai is very similar in a sense that she can defend the basketball, but she can also shoot.
As Bush off the mark for three. Njai throws it ahead. Holloway tips it for Rouse. The shot off the rim, no. And the rebound ripped away by Danielle Shaw. Back and forth these teams go. Here's Bush. Bush shovels it into the paint, and it's taken away. It's Njai. Rouse has no one in front of her to the basket. Layup is good.
Yeah, Rachel Rouse has had a pretty quiet game so far for Brookdale. We're used to seeing her really come out. She averages double figures. She averages just under 19 points a game. So she really has been very quiet. And I think you have to attribute it, as you mentioned a moment ago, Brian, to the Rowan Glouster County defense. They've shut her down in this first half.
Here's Harris Hood, and a travel is called. So Brookdale will get it back. 2:59 remaining second quarter. Anna Catanzaro in, and Veronica Njai to the Brookdale bench, as the Jersey Blues can get back even on this possession with a three-pointer.
And this is where those three fouls on Jessica Poplowski really hurt Brookdale because they just don't quite have the size down low when she's on the floor. She's athletic. She can get the ball down low. She can defend on defense. But when she's not on the floor, Brookdale doesn't really have that go-to player that they can fire inside to and have her make a play or kick it back out for a play on the perimeter.
Here's DeLonzo. And the pass is stolen for a moment. Stepping in the way was Dunlap, but DeLonzo able to regather and score.
And that's just an incredible play by DeLonzo. She had three players on her, and she was somehow still able to get to the bucket.
Bush threw it away off the hand of Dowd. And Dowd was open in the corner, probably set to release a three. Instead, it's Brookdale ball. They're down by one.
You know, DeLonzo, we talked about her with Coach Brunson before the game. She's a player that came over from the women's soccer team, so she's very athletic, but she also has basketball experience. She played 1 year at St. Peter's University. She came over here. She's playing one season for the Jersey Blues, so she's got experience in many different facades of sports, and she's very athletic. She's very good handling the basketball.
Catanzaro short on the second try of the possession. And then Rouse gets in the way of the pass, takes it away in the backcourt. Rouse looking up the floor. Pull-up jumper is an air ball. Maybe it grazed the rim. And the save try from Catanzaro will be for naught.
And I think Rouse just frustrated with herself because she probably should have kept going. But watch this nice play on the other side of the floor, intercepting the ball, leading to that opportunity. But I think she should have probably kept going. She had the lane. She pulled up, and I think she's kicking herself for not attacking it and going to the rim instead of pulling up from the foul line.
Here's Dowd, feeds it down low. Dunlap from the baseline. It's an air ball. Rebound DeLonzo. Ahead for Rouse. Rouse tries a three. And it's off the mark. No, Dunlap had it for a second, had it knocked away, and it'll be Rowan basketball.
In these last couple of possessions, Brookdale has slowly been chipping away at that lead. Rowan's been struggling on offense too, so they've been slowly chipping away at it. But again, I think if you're Coach Cooper, you still have to feel pretty good as we're almost done with one half of basketball in this game that you have a 1-point lead.
28-27. On the perimeter with Coughlin. Knocked out of bounds by Brown. There'll be 13 to shoot as Rowan Glouster operates with a 1-point lead. Coughlin against Alonso. Coughlin for Saab, an open look. Won't go for three. Delonzo gathers in the rebound.
And that was interesting. On that last defensive set, Brookdale went man-to-man, and they caused Rowan to have a little bit of trouble. That might be a mindset that Coach Brunson is using.
Nice move, Camry Brown. She faked the jumper from the outside and scores from in close. Brookdale takes a 1-point lead, and it's stolen away by Brown. She averages 5 of those a game. Delonzo couldn't finish from a tough angle.
Wow.
Gets it back off the glass, misses, and the rebound to Diamond Dunlap. Alonso frustrated with herself for not converting twice from in close. As Shaw, there was a lot of contact. Richard Cooper thought for sure there should have been a foul. None was called, and now Brookdale can hold for one as this first half winds down. Njai, though, has no mind to do that. Misses from three-point range. And now Rowan Glouster can hold for one if they so choose. Saab sees the defender go by. 3 misses. Rebound secured by Delonzo. And that's how the first half comes to an end. So it's Brookdale 29, Rowan Glouster 28 after 10 minutes of play. Certainly was far from Brookdale's best or cleanest first half, but even against a good opponent in Rowan Glouster, who came in at 5-3, 4th place in the region, even when Brookdale wasn't at their best, still playing good enough.
Yeah, I mean, this is still a very good team. I know they had their struggles in the offensive end. In the offensive end in the first half, but you have to attribute Rowan's defense. They come in here just keeping teams under to 50 points a game, so you have to give them credit in that regard. But this is still a very good team that Rowan came with. I mean, they have a very good head coach in Richard Cooper, and they're playing well. I think they're keeping Brookdale at bay. I think when Coach Brunson went to a man-to-man defense towards the end of the first half, that kind of threw off the Roadrunners and a little bit on offense, so I wonder if they'll make an adjustment for that in the locker room. But still, both of these teams look very well. That's what we expected in this game, but still, I said this at the beginning of the first half, and I'll say it again at halftime. Despite being down by 1, I still think Rowan feels pretty good about this because they're in this game. We have seen multiple times where Brookdale has been able to get out to an early lead in the first half and they've been able to pull away, and teams just have never been able to get back in the game. They're in the game right now after one half of basketball, so that's got to make you feel good. I know it wasn't a pretty first half, but for both teams, I think they feel pretty good about themselves.
And the Jersey Blue is much more accustomed to playing high-scoring games this season, but this one looks like it'll be a defensive battle as we go down the stretch. So it's a 1-point Brookdale lead. We're at the halftime break right now. We'll come back on the other side of the break. Getting set for the start of the second half here at the Collins Arena. Brian Goudsword, Tim Catalfamo back here with you. Brookdale with a 1-point lead at halftime, 29-28. But Tim, one problem for the Jersey Blues. One of the starting players, Jessica Poplawski, foul trouble, picked up 3 in that first half, and that really affected the Jersey Blues.
Yeah, she had to sit out for the majority of the first quarter, and then even in the second quarter, she really wasn't that effective because she was being careful to not pick up that third foul, which ultimately she did. So that's going to be a challenge for Brookdale in this second half to try to get their team involved without Poplawski. She's on the floor to start, but she's going to have to be extremely careful if she doesn't pick up that dreaded 4th foul because she'll most likely then be on the bench for the majority of the second half.
She misses the first shot, and it's an offensive foul as Tiara Bush is called for extending the arm. So 18 seconds into this third quarter, Rowan Glouster picks up their first team foul, and for Bush, it's her second. Brookdale starting lineup on the floor. It's Rouse, Njai, Delonzo, Brown, and Poplawski with those 3 personal fouls as mentioned. Njai for 3. It's an air ball, and it's out of bounds. Rowan Glouster, their mantra is defense, and that propelled them to holding Brookdale to just 29 points. But for themselves, they only put up 28, so it's been a defensive battle on both ends. As nice move by Saab, but couldn't finish it. And now Brookdale a chance here in transition as Brown's on the floor with it, and Poplawski gets it out for Njai, so Brookdale can get set up. Brown attacks the rim and goes glass for 2.
And Brookdale got lucky in that possession. I don't know if Rouse and Brown were confused. I think they were confused as to what that pass was intended for. Was it intended to me or you? And they almost turned it over, but Camry Brown able to finish to the hoop.
There's Bush, back out Coughlin. Now Bush takes the pass back, her three-pointer short, rebound Delonzo. Delonzo starts the break, finds Brown underneath, and it's ripped away for the steal by Bush. Pretty good defensive play. Rouse deflects the pass and takes it away in the backcourt. And Rich Brunson feels his team started a little too chaotically here in this third quarter, and he wants to talk things over.
I also think Coach Brunson's not too happy about a foul that he thought should have been called on, I believe, Camry Brown as she grabbed that last rebound on defense. So having a quick chat with the officials. But nonetheless, a pretty good start for Brookdale to come out of the break. Again, this is a tough team to get any offense going with in Rowan because they're so good at defending. But I think that the timeout is actually a break for Rowan, less so than Brookdale, because they haven't really looked set. They've been confused. They haven't had very good looks. They've turned the ball over several times now in this opening minute and a half. So I think that was a good chance for both teams to kind of reset and try to see if they can claw their way back into this game. Brookdale's got a 3-point lead. Remember, Rowan at one point had an 8-point lead, I believe, in the first half, and Brookdale, continuing their drive from the early portions of the second quarter, was able to drive and retake the lead.
Shot clock's winding down. Njai into the lane, stripped and fouled. And Veronica Njai, was she in the act of shooting is the question. As it's team foul number 2 against Rowan Glouster, and it appears it was in the act, so Njai to shoot free throws. And the foul is on Shaw. That's her first.
I'm a little surprised, actually. She may have been just driving to the basket. I'm with you, Brian. I didn't think she was in the act of shooting, but the officials sent her to the line.
75% free throw shooter. Brookdale, though, has not hit a high percentage of their free throws, and that trend continues. Rushing into the front court is Bush. Bush losing it. And who touched it last? The Roadrunners did. Brookdale basketball.
Yeah, Bush just trying to do too much on offense, too much dribbling. She's got to give that ball up. I know she's being guarded by Brown, who's a really good defender. She gets very low. She can swipe that ball away, but you got to give the ball up. You can't spend too much time dribbling.
And Brown handling the point. And a foul out top. This one is clearly not the act of shooting. So already 3 fouls on the Roadrunners. And we have yet to play 2.5 minutes in this third quarter.
And remember why that's important is because in women's basketball, again, last year, once a team gets to 5 personal fouls, the other team shoots free throws for the rest of the quarter. So this could be detrimental because you talked about how good statistically Brookdale is at shooting free throws. This could be detrimental to Rowan if they find themselves in that position.
Njai for Delonzo, the drive, and she draws the foul. Aggressive move by Haley Delonzo. As the fouls just keep racking up. Brookdale happy to see that. That's number 4. And for Bush, who's the Roadrunners' leading scorer, that's now 3 personals.
And that's a big foul on her because she's a player that can really get involved on offense. If she has to go to the bench, somebody's going to have to step up. And I have not seen so far anybody else besides Bush who can orchestrate and handle the ball when Rowan has it on offense. So that, if she comes out of the game, I don't think she's coming out just yet. I know really if Coach Cooper has much of a choice, he's got to leave her in there. But if she does have to come out, someone else is going to have to step up.
And Delonzo that time 2 added 2 from the line as Brookdale stretches the lead to 5. Bush picked up by Brown. Bush spinning. The open look for Saab. Knocks it down, a 3. You just can't give her too much space.
But how impressive has she been? Remember, we talked about at the beginning of the first half, she only averages 9 points, and she's got at least that number so far in this game, many of them coming from behind the 3-point line.
She's working on a season-high performance. Njai handles the high pass, starts the drive, tough shot, able to regather. No good on the second try, and Coughlin has it for Rowan Glouster.
And that's a good effort by Njai, but she's got to settle down when she gets that rebound. She wants to go right up with it right away, but she's not setting her feet. She's got to pull that down and make sure she's set.
Saab wide open, Ayana Saab. Another one from long range. As her season-high performance continues, and the last one gives the Roadrunners a 1-point lead again. Brookdale looking for the answer. Brown spinning into the lane. Good move, and banks it home. 35-34. Bush to Saab. You'd think someone would get a hand in her face. That one misses. And Camry Brown able to take it away for the Jersey Blues. Long pass. Delonzo, 3 on the way. Too strong. And the rebound handled by Coughlin. Pace picking up now.
Intensity,
in the third quarter.
Intensity's definitely picking up.
Crowd getting into it as well. Under 6 minutes to go in this third. Brookdale's in front by 1. Coughlin watched by Rouse. Working around the perimeter. Saab, same spot. Too strong. Uncontested rebound, Njai.
And Poplawski is not the one that should be going out and closing out on her. Brookdale's going to have to make an adjustment on defense.
Rouse for 3. Bullseye. Bush, the jump step. Shot short. Rebound, Njai's got it. And then a foul, as she was pushed by Taylor Carter, and that's already team foul number 5. Richard Cooper on the Roadrunners sideline doesn't like it. But it's now a 1-and-1 situation. Or is it 2 free throws? Njai to shoot now. The freshman from Staten Island, New York.
You know, we talked about how this was going to hurt Rowan, but I think you mentioned it also in the first half, Brian. Brookdale has not been making their foul shots in this game, and that's one of the reasons why this game is so close, because Brookdale has gotten to the foul line, but they just have consistently missed foul shot after foul shot. That's hurting them. They can't afford to do that because they're leaving the door wide open for Rowan to get back in the ballgame.
1 out of 2 that time for Njai. Brookdale as a team, 60% from the line as Carter slips in for the bucket.
And nice find there by Bush to find Carter down low. Just poor transition defense for the Jersey Blues.
Halfway through this third quarter, Catanzaro has it knocked away. Picked up by Delonzo. Delonzo on the drive. Catanzaro underneath for 2. The setup by Delonzo, who's been in the middle of everything offensively for Brookdale. Saab on the drive. Good contest from Catanzaro. Pass intercepted. It's Harris Hood. Underneath, Dunlap lost it on the floor. The officials blow the whistle. And it will go to the Jersey Blues.
And that's such a shame for Diamond Dunlap. Not only does she pick up the foul, but she loses possession of the ball. She had a clean look right on the low block. There was nobody around her, but she couldn't handle the pass. Then she picks up a foul to add insult to injury.
So every foul now is resulting in free throws, and there's a lot of time remaining in this third quarter. This time it's Brown, 71% no good on the first attempt. As into the game is Dion Griffith replacing Njai. And for the Roadrunners, Diamond Dunlap heads for the bench.
It's 3 straight misses from the foul line for the Jersey Blues, the last 2 times down the floor.
Brown looks to snap that streak and does. She splits a pair. Brookdale with a 6-point lead. Harris Hood able to keep it in bounds, almost a turnover. Harris Hood against Alonzo. Back and forth along the perimeter. Bush for Saab. 3 on the way is an air ball, and Alonzo lets it go. Well, Saab has had the hot hand, but a couple of misses of late. Tyler Coughlin will substitute for Rowan Glouster. And Saab will get a breather. As she gets the congratulations on the Roadrunners bench for her start to this third quarter.
She's had a career night so far. It's been very impressive for her.
Catanzaro. Good ball movement. Delonzo into the lane with a floater is good. Nice move that time for the sophomore. Bush, step back, creating space. Won't go for three. Rebound is fought for and a jump ball. As battling for it was Carter along with Dion Griffith, and it stays with the Jersey Blues. I should say it stays with Rowan Glouster. Bush to inbound it. Bush for Carter. Carter a jab step move, a drive, shot misses, foul is called. And so while Rowan Glouster has committed 5 fouls here in the third, that is just the first charged to Brookdale as it goes on Delonzo, and that's her first. One more free throw for the freshman from Somerdale, New Jersey, and she makes a pair. There's Catanzaro on the low block, and the shot too strong. Here comes Harris Hood. Kadena Harris Hood all the way to the rim and gets the roll. That was tough to stop. Lead trimmed to 4. Back and forth between Brown and Rouse, and now Delonzo for Catanzaro, and Griffith is short on her baseline jumper. It's rebounded by Bush. 2-on-1 developing. Harris Hood, the scoop layup, no. And Delonzo has the rebound. Delonzo bumped near midcourt, no call. Delonzo fouled. And Taylor Carter begs to differ, but it's free throws.
How good is Haley Delonzo? Just getting out in space. She can make plays on both offense and defense, and she's so good at being able to adjust her shot inside. We've seen that several times in this game where she's not necessarily had a great look, but she's been able to adjust in midair and get a nice shot off and be able to knock it down.
Danielle Griffith and Veronica Njai check in for Brown and Rouse, respectively. Delonzo, who played basketball last season at St. Peter's, but Brookdale happy to have her for her sophomore year of eligibility, and 1 out of 2 from the line.
And she played, as I mentioned, on the women's soccer team, so she's very athletic. It's very rare sometimes that you see a player be good at 2 sports as much as she is. It's very rare, but she's a special player for sure.
There's Harris Hood's pass tipped by Njai. And it will go in Brookdale's direction as they got a Rowan Glouster foul as that ball was being taken away, and it's on Harris Hood.
And these are where these fouls are really starting to hurt Rowan. Not so much because Brookdale's knocking them down from the foul line. I mean, they've had their struggles from the stripe, but it's allowing Brookdale now to come down the floor, to take a deep breath, to reset, and to get to the line, to have a couple cracks at the basket. That's not helping Rowan at all. They just are not winning with continuing the foul, because not only are they sending Brookdale to the line, but they're starting to rack up these fouls on some very key players on their offense.
Griffith, not a polished foul shooter, comes up empty, but a turnover. Unforced error as no one home on the Coughlin pass. And so Brookdale takes it right back. Njai inbounding far side. Catanzaro takes the foul line jumper. It rolls off the rim. Rebound Harris Hood, reach and foul.
And I like that shot from Catanzaro, but I like to see her drive in, take a couple dribbles, and then pull up. She's had open space in front of her in the paint. Whenever you have that, it's very tempting to just shoot, but if you got that open space, take a couple dribbles, pull up, then inside the paint.
Coughlin tries a 3. That's good. Tyler Coughlin. Brookdale, on a number of the Rowan 3-point attempts, just has been unable to close out, and it's cost them. 2 minutes to go now, third quarter.
And that's why Rowan's been able to stay in this game. They're shooting from behind the three-point line. If it had not been for that, you'd be looking at probably a 20-point lead now.
Catanzaro from in close, and credit Njai for the assist. 48-43. Well, Brookdale's had a lot of their games decided by 20-plus points. In fact, 6 of the 7 wins, but this one does not appear it will be in that category. Harris Hood way off, and it's fielded out of the air by Njai. Starting the break, Delonzo the catch, shot misses, and it's an offensive foul, as taking the hit was Coughlin.
And that's a questionable call, and Coach Brunson's kind of laughing on the sidelines because I don't think he agrees with that. And I have to kind of agree with him. That's really kind of a tough call to make. I don't know if Coughlin was really set there. I know Delonzo was going hard to the bucket, but I don't know. That's a questionable call that didn't go Brookdale's way.
It's Delonzo's second. As you see Rich Brunson there. His team off to the best start under his tenure at 7-0. Saab, the drive, the floater, no, but a foul is called. And Nyana Saab will shoot free throws for the Roadrunners.
And this is how Rowan's going to get back into the game. Similar to what we saw at the end of the first quarter, where they started driving the ball inside, being more aggressive, and getting to the line.
Saab, the impressive sophomore from Glouster, New Jersey. She shoots it at 60% from the line, and her three-point prowess has been on display in this game. Single-handedly has kept Rowan Glouster close. Come up on 1 minute to go now in a three-point Brookdale lead. Njai, a three, it's good! And that was multiple feet clear of the three-point arc. Long distance jumper.
And I'm sure Njai's feeling, finally, she's been looking for that shot all night long, and it's finally able to go in for Veronica Njai.
Coughlin. Saab, top of the key. Shot clock at 12. Coughlin, the fake. Working on Delonzo, slip it inside, shot blocked on the interior. Fight for the ball underneath the basket. It's a held ball, and possession arrow will keep it with the, I thought it said the Roadrunners, but it's going to be Brookdale ball.
Well, that's actually the right call because I don't think the scoreboard at the scores table is working correctly.
That's what I was going by.
Well, you would think, right? The last possession arrow was pointing Gloucester County's way, and we saw that on the last tie-up, but good correction made by the officials.
Shot clock turned off. Final 22 seconds, but it's been an entertaining game tonight. Catanzaro can't get the friendly bounce. Catanzaro gets her own rebound. She puts up a three. It's way short, and the loose ball collected by Coughlin. Under 10 seconds to go now, third quarter. Coughlin for Saab. Saab from the foul line. Block Catanzaro. 1 second left. Half court heat. Oh! It goes! Camry Brown as the third quarter expires. I think that's the first one of those we've ever seen here on Brookdale TV.
Wow.
The exclamation point to close this third quarter. Unbelievable shot. Crowd on their feet. And everyone on the Jersey Blue bench is energized after that one.
And let me tell you, that shot did not have a whole lot of air underneath it. That was a very low shot. I don't think it barely got past the rim and somehow just went in. Unbelievable job. Wow.
And it's a huge shot in terms of the game because it stretches the Brookdale lead to 9.
And that was set up by Catanzaro, who made a nice play on defense, swatting the ball away with a nice rejection, and then Brown coming down the floor and making that three. That's huge, though, because not only do you take that momentum, as you mentioned a moment ago, Brian, into the fourth quarter, but now you have a 9-point lead. That's, I think, the largest lead that Brookdale has had in this game, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a huge momentum builder, and now Coach Cooper's really going to have to try to scramble to get his players to get back in this ball game. I think they have the potential to do that. I think that what they have to do is they have to go inside. I'm surprised that in the second half we really have not seen much out of Bush from driving the ball inside. She's had really good play in the first half of getting the ball inside and then dishing off to different players. We have not seen that in the second half, so I'm surprised we haven't seen Bush be more of a presence on the floor. So I'm surprised whether or not that's a strategy or she just isn't feeling it tonight. But if I'm Coach Cooper, I'm taking that ball inside and trying to be much more aggressive in this final quarter.
Remember when this game started slow? That's
different. That's
now.
Completely gone now.
Fourth quarter underway. Brookdale with a 9-point lead after the Brown half-court heroics. As the Roadrunners open up with possession, and they need an answer quick. Coughlin gives up her dribble. Bush pulls the trigger off the mark on a three. Loose ball, rebound Brown. Delonzo couldn't catch the pass. And it's going the other way. Which way is it going? It's staying here. Brookdale starts this fourth quarter with Delonzo, Njai, Catanzaro, Griffith, and Brown on the floor. Njai misses the runner. Njai gets the offensive rebound. Saab couldn't save it.
Out of bounds. Brookdale ball.
Brookdale has to be a little bit more crisper with their passes. They're kind of lobbing their passes over to their teammates on offense, especially whenever they have a fast break situation. That's just not helping matters. You got to be a little bit more crisper with your passes. That's hurt them because it's led to turnovers, and that's one of the reasons why Rowan's been able to stay in this game.
There's Catanzaro with a nice move inside and gets the bucket. First time the Jersey Blues have had a lead of double figures all night. As that shot is off the mark, it was Danielle Shaw. Pass is tipped. It's rolling. Good effort on the part of Delonzo. But Rowan Glouster will have it. And a substitution, Valari to the Roadrunner bench. And Yasmin Trueblood, who we have not seen a lot of here in the second half, back in the game. Rachel Rassel checking next whistle for Brookdale. To the corner, and Bush for three. It's short. Rebound on a bounce to Brown. Brown wants to take it all the way. Shot misses. And it's back out for Delonzo. Second chance opportunity. Delonzo traveled. And here's Rouse in. And Danielle Griffith to the bench.
And in that situation, if I'm Haley Delonzo, I know I want to continue to be aggressive. That's just her style of play. But listen, you get an offensive rebound, the shot clock resets, you're up by 11 points. You can take some time on this possession. You don't have to shoot so quickly. Try to milk that clock, shorten the game a little bit when you have the ball.
Saab, that's been her spot. To the foul line where Bush tries a pass inside. Trueblood as it picked away, and then getting tripped up is Delonzo. Team foul number 1 of this fourth quarter.
And I think that's Bush's fourth foul, Brian.
It is. And so we'll see. For now, Bush remains on the floor. That's their leading scorer. They can't afford to be without her. Although in this game, it's really been Saab who has picked up the slack. Jersey Blues lead by 11. Njai one-on-one with Coughlin. Njai inside the arc for two.
And early on in the first half, Veronica Njai was not making those shots and was just getting frustrated with herself, but now she's calmed down and she's knocking them down from all around the perimeter.
Bush with a nice find for Trueblood, and she'll shoot free throws. Njai was in the area, and she will pick up her first. It's Brookdale's first of this quarter. Trueblood just a 55% free throw shooter and well off on the first one.
Roadrunners just continuing to struggle from the line. We've documented that pretty well in this game, Brian, but it's just killing them in these situations where you have the clock stopped, you're down by a certain margin, you have to make those opportunities count, and they just have struggled. Another miss from the foul line.
continue to come up empty as Brown in rhythm comes up short. Offensive rebound. Delonzo rips it away, and Delonzo is fouled. Well, she has been the aggressor for Brookdale tonight.
She's been all over the floor. I mean, getting offensive rebounds, putting shots up, blocking people's shots, stealing. She's been all over the place. Just incredible.
She comes off a game where she had 33 points and 15 boards, and that blowout win at Atlantic Cape. This is on the first attempt. As we mentioned, the sophomore played her high school ball at Middletown South. That, of course, North's rival.
And you would know that pretty well, right?
They had the upper hand in a lot of the athletic departments. 14-point lead now. Saab, a three, is good. It banks in.
I tell you what, Rowan may not have had the best night offensively when they go back and look at this film, but certainly Saab has had an incredible career evening. It's been incredible to watch her.
Catanzaro baseline delivery for two. And a setup by Delonzo, who continues her strong all-around game. Out for Saab on the perimeter. Good attempt by Brown to try to pry it away. And then a foul called as Saab was roaming baseline. And that's on Catanzaro, her second. Not in the act of shooting. As Rowan inbounds underneath with Saab.
Gotta get it in.
Lob it in. True Blood in some trouble. As Rowan does not have to rush. The shot clock reset, but Catanzaro the steal. Delonzo for Rouse. Wide open look. And it's short. Rebound Coughlin. Coughlin dribbled it off her foot, but they say last touch Brookdale. Rouse nearly forcing a turnover.
Yeah, Rouse, just uncharacteristic night for her. She really hasn't been that effective on offense. She struggled from around the perimeter. She hasn't been knocking down as many shots as she normally does. Remember, she averages 19 points a game, but she's been rather quiet. It's just been not her night.
As True Blood, the back in, and she'll go to the line. Poplawski, who has not hardly been in the game tonight. When she has, she's picked up fouls.
I think she may have picked up her fourth there, Brian. We'll check that. But, yeah, it is her fourth. Wow.
Just not her night. Coming off a strong game when we saw her a week ago against Philadelphia. She had 18 points in that one.
However, it really hasn't hurt Brookdale too much, Brian. I mean, we talked about in the first half how Poplawski not being on the floor maybe was allowing the game to be closer than maybe Brookdale expected or wanted it to be. But so far in the second half, even though she's been on the floor, she really hasn't been too effective in a sense. And the fact that she's got 4 fouls, she'll probably go to the bench, and she'll probably be on the bench for the remainder of this game as Brookdale calls a timeout. But it really hasn't hurt them too much, I guess is my point.
Timeout Brookdale with 6:13 remaining. We'll take a break here at the Collins Arena. We'll be right back.
Far into our community, into our elementary schools, our middle schools, and our high schools. If you haven't seen the current exhibit, 100 Days of Silence, I really suggest you do so, because that is an illustration of how deep the work of change goes into our community, how powerful it is, and it gives us optimism for the future, that young people are learning in a very real way the lessons of history, the things that we want them not to forget. We want them to internalize never again. I'm going to give you a little incident that happened yesterday that is just one of many. Yesterday was Bring Your Sons and Daughters to Work Day, and my children are grown, so I borrowed some children. I had a pair of 13-year-old twin girls who are
The rest of our Brookdale TV crew with you tonight from the Collins Arena for this Region 19 matchup, Brookdale and Rowan Glouster. Matchup of the number 2 and number 4 teams in the region, and it has been a highly entertaining game as the Jersey Blues look to wrap up what would be their 8th win against no losses to start the year. Njai way short on a 3 outside the timeout. Mad scramble as about 3 players go for the ball, and it will not change hands. seems to be a mix-up here.
Yeah, I think the same issue. I think the possession arrow is not being updated at the scores table. I think they're having a technical issue with that, and I think that's confusing because it's pointing Rowan's way, but I think that's part of it. They're going to keep it to Brookdale, but I think it's just confusing matters. I think they're having some technical issues down there.
Bounce it inside. Delonzo backing in. Poplawski from the baseline won't go. And Coughlin
Got to be careful.
has the rebound, and this time it'll go to her team, the Roadrunners.
Got to be careful there for Poplawski reaching in there. I know you want to go for the ball, but you got 4 personal fouls. You can't afford to foul out now.
Now pressure applied here in the back court as we're under 6 minutes to go in the game. Saab gets it across. Saab finds Trueblood jumper, and she's fouled as she hit the ground on the release.
I think Poplawski's gone now, Brian. I think she picked up her 5th foul.
It's just not her night. Catanzaro comes in to replace her.
Jessica Poplawski, that is her 5th. She has fouled out of the game.
And Trueblood to the line for the Roadrunners. This is a Rowan team that knocked off Brookdale in 2 of the 3 meetings a season ago, including in the region championship. This is the first of 2 meetings in this season, and Brookdale has had the upper hand. They're currently leading by 12. Trueblood, second attempt, no. Rebound, Bush, back up with it, shot misses. Offensive rebound again, in close, count it, and 1. And Trueblood, this time a chance to make it a 3-point play.
Yasmin Trueblood.
And now that's the 5th team foul on Brookdale, Brian. So Rowan's going to be shooting foul shots for the remainder of this quarter. This might start turning things in their favor. We'll see if they can make their foul shots.
Last one's on Brown as they continue to struggle from the line. Really, both teams have had their troubles. Raz with a tough shot. And Coughlin starts the other way.
But again here, if I'm Brookdale, I have a 10-point lead. I want to take my time on offense. I'm surprised Rachel Rouse was that aggressive and not using up more clock.
It's a 10-point game as Bush drives into the lane, and it's rebounded by Njai. Njai ahead of the floor. Delonzo to the basket, layup off the glass and in. And Brookdale can thank Haley Delonzo if they come up with the win today. Bush tried a nifty shot and Rouse the rebound. Delonzo for Catanzaro, her jumper rimming no, and then getting pushed hard underneath is Brown. Catanzaro will provide assistance as she appears to be okay.
Foul is on the Roadrunners, number 11, Cadenas Harris.
And the foul is on Harris Hood, and that's number 3.
And you were talking about Tiara Bush just a moment ago. She's been a good player. She's played well. The problem is she hasn't really had too much help when she's driven the ball to the basket to dish it off to somebody. It's really been a theme in the game.
As a 3 from Veronica Njai has brought the Brookdale lead to its largest point of the night. It's 15, and a steal. Dion Griffith just rips it away. Brown, touch pass ahead. Brown takes the return pass and threw it off the bottom of the backboard. And here comes Taylor Carter. Richard Cooper calls for a timeout. It'll be a full timeout here at the Collins Arena as the Roadrunners try to fight their way back. Final 4:16 to go. We'll be right back.
Theater department and student success. Student success, as far as I'm concerned, is based on a student's involvement and willingness to have fun and enjoy what they're doing at college and what they plan to do with the rest of their lives. All of the classes that I teach are acting/interactive based, so I think that the idea that we are interactive gets a student comfortable with themselves, gets a student comfortable with the other students in the classroom, gets them comfortable with the school, and in turn, hopefully brings them in, gets them to stay around, gets them to be involved in a bunch of other things that go on outside of the classroom. We have shows, we have the Haunted Theater, we do a musical every year, we do Summer Shakespeare every year. So we're a department that is active basically from September 1 through basically July 31st, almost the first week of August. We take about 3 weeks where we're down to clean and fix and
Brookdale leads it 66-51. Final 4:16 remaining in this game as the Jersey Blues look for the 8-0 start on the season. And that start has propelled them to the number 6 rank in the country for Division III women's basketball. So Rich Brunson has to love the start his team has had in his 3rd season as the head coach. Bush, a 3 is way short, and Griffith lets it go. It's Brookdale basketball. This is the first game of our Brookdale TV doubleheader. Coming up at approximately the top of the hour, it'll be the men's game, tipping things off here from the Collins Arena. Alexis Holloway is in the game now for the Jersey Blues. Baseline drive, and Delonzo was bumped. That's team foul number 4 against Rowan Glouster.
Fouls on the road runners, number 13, Yasmin Trueblood.
Yasmin Trueblood hit with her 4th. Inbounder is Njai. Holloway with Saab defending. Griffith hands it off. Njai into the paint, shovel pass, Catanzaro gets the roll.
Nice find there by Njai and a nice finish there by Catanzaro.
Brookdale continues with the full court press despite a 17-point cushion. They look to trap Coughlin.
Careful.
They do. It's a jump ball.
No, I think this might be a foul, Brian. Maybe it's a jump ball. I'm not sure.
It is a foul, so you're correct.
But if you're Brookdale, you're up by 17 points. There's no need for that. That's just a silly foul. I know Veronica Njai wants to get that ball, being aggressive, but you got to look at the scoreboard. You got to look at the time that's left. You don't need a foul. You don't need to slow the game down. You just want to get out of here with what's looking like to be a pretty good win and not give Rowan any opportunities to get back in the game.
Coughlin, a 78% free throw shooter. But it's too little too late for Rowan Glouster. One of the reasons they can point back to when they look back after this game is the lack of success from the free throw line. And they probably left a good 10 to 15 points from the line as a hard foul. Holloway put up a shot in the paint. And if that's Trueblood, that's number 5, and she is out of the game.
She has fouled out of the game.
So each side has seen a player foul out. Poplowski for Brookdale, and now Trueblood for the Roadrunners.
Yeah, and this was a team historically that we talked about at the first half of the game, Brian. Doesn't shoot the ball all that well from the foul line in Rowan. They've struggled. That's been an area that they've tried to work on. They just have not quite had the consistency that they're looking for from that perspective, and it's hurt them in this game. I agree, but to be fair, Brookdale's also had plenty of foul issues as well, but it hasn't really affected them too much because Brookdale's been able to make plays on offense and has players like Veronica Njai and Haley Delonzo that have been making nice buckets. But in the case for Rowan at Glouster County, they've struggled mightily from the line, and that has hurt them. I agree.
1 out of 2 that time for Holloway. Saab feeds. Coughlin finishes +1.
Got the basket.
I will say, I like the aggressiveness from Rowan here, going inside and trying to get to the line, but I wonder where this was earlier on in the game, where the game was a little closer, because now they're actually not looking too bad on offense. Now they're getting down the floor. They're making their foul shots as they have a 3-point play there. I'm surprised that they weren't going to this more when the game was closer early on in the game.
Under 3 minutes to go now as Njai, a long 3, and it's rebounded by Taylor Carter. Rowan maybe
Nice.
one last spurt in them as Coughlin misses off the glass. Offensive rebound, Bush is hit. And Tiara Bush is the latest Roadrunner to go to the line.
Fouls on Brookdale.
Fouls continue to rack up. That's 6 of them now on Brookdale of this 4th quarter.
Bush on the line, shooting 2.
Bush, though, has had next to no success at the line. But right on cue. It always works that way, doesn't it?
Well, it either works for you or against you. Either you jinx the player or you help them out.
Bush, the sophomore from Camden, Roadrunners' leading scorer on the season. And she has made this an 11-point game now.
But I hate to keep harping on this, but Brian, if you're Brookdale, why are you fouling? Let Rowan take their shots. Even if they make them, you still have enough of a lead that you can coast in this game.
Catanzaro on the dish from Holloway. And that was well done. Bounce for Coughlin. Saab, a three, is off the side of the rim. And Brown scoops it up. Brown splitting defenders, goes down to the floor. It'll be a held ball.
And that probably should have been a foul that was not called there. Brown was kind of tripped up, but
yeah, there was contact there. Now, you can't always rely on the possession arrow, but it's going to stay Brookdale balls. We'll get a 30-second timeout.
A 30-second timeout.
Well, looking ahead for this Brookdale team, and they've got a game coming up in a couple of days. Saturday, they will be at Passaic, and will be a good matchup as Passaic is number 3 in the region. Brookdale started the day number 2, and in fact, the next 3 games for the Jersey Blues, all of them on the road, so a tough stretch coming up.
yeah, those will be tough games. Ocean is a team that, while they haven't necessarily had a great year, they're still a rivalry kind of matchup in the fact that they are so close. Camden's a pretty good team. Those will be on the road. And then they come back home to play Philadelphia on December 15th. That'll be a tough game because, as we've talked about at different times this year, Brian, Philadelphia's a much more improved team over last year. So they've got a couple tough games coming up. A 3-game on-the-road stretch is tough for any team, regardless of how good you are.
Now, Philadelphia is number 1, only because they have one more win in region play than Brookdale. Jersey Blues, the only team yet to lose. That'll be a fun matchup coming up on the 15th of December. Foul called as Bush was driving baseline. And every foul the rest of the way means free throws, and Bush back to the stripe.
As report.
First attempt is good. Coming up at the top of the hour, it'll be the second game of our Brookdale TV doubleheader, as Tim and I will have the call when the Jersey Blues take on the Roadrunners in the men's matchup, and which should be a fun one. Brookdale coming off a pair of tough losses.
And, every game this year has been close for Brookdale, it seems, as late. I mean, even the game that they had against Cumberland on the men's side for the very first home game of the year, they only won that game by 1 point. So they've been in a lot of close games this year.
As Holloway is all alone, a heads-up pass from DeLonzo. 73-60. Backcourt press on again. Bush inside for Villari. Count the basket plus the foul. Isabella Villari, who pretty much has been held in check tonight. But she gets a late burst in with a chance to make it a 3-point play. And the foul is on Catanzaro. That's her third. Villari, sophomore from Pittman, New Jersey, and Catanzaro the rebound. Brookdale can slow it down. No need to hurry. They have an 11-point lead. And under a minute, 20 seconds to play before it is an 8-0 Brookdale start to the season. Foul is called.
I mean, if you're Brookdale, you're in a situation here where you really don't even have to shoot. You just have to take time off the clock. So Rowan obviously in a situation where they want to try to extend the game, even though they're down by 11. They're going to go down to the last couple seconds. They're going to continue to fight, which I don't blame them in any way. But if you're Brookdale, you really don't have to shoot here. You just kind of have to let the clock run out.
Checking back in for the
Brown at the line as Rowan makes one change. Harris Hood back in. Taylor Carter, she now has 4 personal fouls to the Roadrunner bench. And Brown converts 2 out of 2 from the line. 75-62. Come up on 1 minute to go. The press was beat, but the steal by Catanzaro gives Brookdale the ball right back. There's Holloway, puts it on the floor. Catanzaro from the outside won't go. Rebound Brown's got it. Reset of the shot clock, and Brookdale now content to just let time roll off the clock. Alonso just holds. Ten to shoot. Brown way outside. Brown drives. Brown misses. Ooh. And it'll go to the Roadrunners.
It's a dangerous fall there by Coughlin. I'm glad she's all right. She kind of twisted her leg as she was tripping over Brown, so scary moment there.
Shot clock turned off. This one just about in the books. And there's a whistle. So the officials want to sort something out here. Head coach Richard Cooper signaling. I'm not quite sure what this is about.
I don't know what that's about either. I'm not. Maybe they didn't inbound the ball the right way. I guess I must have missed that, Brian. I don't know what that was about.
You and me both. Here's Harris Hood. And it's rebounded by Griffith, but she gives it away. And Valori can't connect for three. Into the hands of Delonzo. Delonzo gets it across the midcourt stripe. Holloway will put it up and miss. The fourth quarter doesn't end like the third quarter, and with an exclamation point like the Brown half-court heave. What a shot that was. The play of the game, if we had one here tonight. But a solid effort all in all as the Jersey Blues make it 8 wins in a row to start this season as they continue their torrid pace. Rowan Glouster suffers their first road defeat of the year, and the Jersey Blues win tonight. The final score, Brookdale 75, Rowan 62. And there's certainly a lot of different things we can talk about, but I think you have to start with the play of Haley Delonzo. Both ends of the floor, she made it happen offensively, got after loose balls, rebounding, really did it all and delivered them this win.
Yeah, I mean, she was really all over the floor. I mean, she was playing incredible. She was getting loose balls, stealing the ball, making incredibly athletic plays, adjusting her body in the air midway through shooting as she was in the act of shooting to make adjustments so she could knock down those baskets. She played incredibly strong. So really just overall, this Brookdale team, they're 8-0 now, and we mentioned they're top 10 in the NJCAA National Tournament poll. So, I mean, they're really firing on all cylinders, and that's not even including the 5 players that they have coming out of their team as additions to the second half of the year that are kind of in waiting to be eligible. So they played incredibly strong, and I'm very impressed by their play.
So the Jersey Blues win it again today, as Tim mentioned, 8-0 to start the season. They'll take tomorrow off. They'll travel to Union on Saturday, and the next home game will be a big one as the top 2 teams will square off here at the Collins Arena on December the 15th. So that does it for the first game of our doubleheader. Tim and I, though, are coming right back at the top of the hour as we'll have the call for the men's game. Stay with us, and thanks for watching here on Brookdale TV.
Coach, that was an impressive game. What was the strategy going into it?
Impressive? I don't know about that. I mean, I'll take the win any way I can get it, but I think the strategy was really to contain Tierra, number 2. She's their best player, but we did a bad job defensively. We got to get back in practice more and cover those areas. But overall, a win's a win.
Absolutely. And what did you think of Veronica's shot towards the end of third?
Oh, man, she's a work in progress. I mean, great shooting in high school, but I keep telling Ron, this is college now. You have to take the shots that are right for you. But she's anxious. She'll come around, so we'll get her going.
That was impressive, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. I'll take it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.